Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel here. All right, so welcome to the Essetino Weekly Mastermind, episode number 149. So you'll notice it's just me today. Arit is with her family in Victoria. She actually was already in Victoria, if you remember, like a month or two ago, but she's back over there again because some of her family have arrived from Israel and they're here obviously, so they're taking them. She's being tour guide and she's doing the whole tourist thing and she's showing them around Victoria. So it's just me today, and I've got a cool one for you because if you saw the title, it said show and tell, and I've got some cool stuff to share with you guys from the archives. All right, so as we get the show started here, let's share some wins for the week. How was your week? We like to go off of the good vibrations, the energy, the high vibes, and we like to share with everybody's wins. Like your win is my win is your win, right? We all win. That's how it should be, right? So let's go off of that. And we'll say hello to people as we get on the stream here. And no worries, Lisa. Thank you so much for letting us know. And Roland, we've got Roland in the house. Hey, Roland, how's it going? We've got Brayden. Hey, Brayden. And Teddy B. Hey, Teddy, how's it going? Did you receive my response email, my reply email? Let me know. And we've got Timothy's in the house. Hey, Timothy, how's it going? We've got Jojo. Hey, Jojo. And Cheeks is at a gas station. Got some Wi-Fi to say hi. Picked up Daniel from camp. Okay, we are leaving now. That's awesome that you took some time to go to a gas station to get Wi-Fi. And then now you're back on the road. That's awesome. That's so cool. I look forward to your live stream tomorrow, Cheeks. All right, and everybody's just saying hello to some people. So let me know. Share some wins there. You might have seen, I put a throwback photo of me and my grandmother, if you saw that photo. That's me and my grandmother, like, I don't know, more than 12 years ago. I cycle through different photos, and I saw that one, and I was like, yeah, let's put that one up. That's me and my grandmother in Winnipeg, and I'm doing like the peace sign, and she didn't know how to do it, so I had to like teach her how to do it. She didn't know how to do that with her finger. Teddy said, I didn't see your email. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know, because that means I need to now go in the sent folder and like redo it. Maybe our email went to spam. Potentially, we've had issues in the past where our email was going into spam, and then we had to hire someone on Upwork to fix this issue because people were actually putting our email into like their saved and their contacts and then doing mark as not spam, and it's like, but it was still going in there, and then the person fixed it, but then we changed the email. So I don't know, some emails are sensitive, but check your spam. But if not, regardless, I will resend it to you, and hopefully it gets to you. Okay. Roland, no crazy wins this week. No crazy wins. This week is going so quick. One day it's Monday, and now it's Thursday, and then tomorrow it's Friday. Yes, this week has been going by really fast, because it was like Canada Day, and then it was like 4th of July. And although I'm in Canada, a lot of people I know are from the United States, like lots of clients and stuff and viewers. So it's like, it was almost like there was like 2 holidays going on. So yeah, I know what you mean. The week was going by fast. All right. Timothy, the influencer program is doing better, and my Amazon commissions are coming back to life. So exciting. Yeah, it's literally a roller coaster. I keep trying to tell people to be almost neutral with your emotions, because it will go up and it will go down. So you don't want to be doing that with your emotions. Staying neutral in the happy stage, like you're just happy in general, whether it's a low commission or it's a high commission. Because I know that there are some people that, they see a $5 commission and then they're like completely bummed out and their day's ruined. But it's like, zoom out for a second. It's like, that was passive $5 and it's $5 more than you would have had. So look at it as a positive, and every dollar and everything counts and it all adds up. Literally, the Amazon influencer program is a bunch of small amounts making big amounts. It's not all one big amount. So it all matters. Okay, Jojo, yeah, loving the photo of me and my grandmother. I know. I wish she was still alive to hang out with. At the time of I was getting into entrepreneurship, and as you guys know the story, I went into my bubble, and that includes isolating everybody, and it was just me. And so yeah, I wish she was around. I have more time now to spend. Tracy, hello everyone. My week was good, busy with work and making review videos. I see you, Tracy. You are crushing it. You have awoken. It's crazy. I don't actually see you on video or anything like that, but I see like you typing your text. I love your engagement in the private profitable reviewer mastermind Facebook group. I love how active you are, and you post and you're there and you're supporting people in comments. Anyone else who's commenting in there, I appreciate the support. But yeah, I noticed you, Tracy, you take the initiative to do new posts, so I appreciate that. Teddy says, at my age, every day above ground is a win. That's awesome for everybody, not just because you're older, but for everybody, right? Timothy says, it's best not to look at the commissions every day. I will say that I do look at the commissions every day and in the morning. And I know other people who are in the program do as well, because it's addicting. But I mean, it only refreshes once a day. So I see it and then I go about my day. I have my videos to film. I have my tasks to complete, that kind of thing. Getting it done north of 7. You always know that the good commissions will come back. It all works out to an average. Exactly. Because if you got 95 one day and then the next day 5, that's 100, and the average right there was 50. So that was like it. As long as it's plus and it's not minus, even though I did get that one day of minus, as long as it's plus, you're winning. Like, this program is nothing like any other. So, musical journeys through cinema. Hi, Jewel. I will be listening as I finish my shift at work. That's so cool. I love hearing all the different places where you guys are listening to. And Cheeks just said that he was at a gas station trying to get Wi-Fi. And that was cool. That was a first. I've had someone at a laundry, like a hotel laundry room. Somebody was watching me from there as well. I think that was Lisa. Lisa was watching from a hotel laundry room one time. Getting it done north of 7. I look in the first thing in the morning. Recently, each morning is great except for 4th of July. I know, right? That was like, right? Totally just dropped down, but it's to be expected. I mean, everybody in the United States is celebrating. I feel like in the United States, they celebrate way more than here. I mean, it was Canada Day, but it was like kind of still regular, at least where I am in Vancouver. Felix is in the house. Hey, how's it going? Listening while editing a YouTube video. That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, and Timothy, right off the bat there, within the first 11 minutes and 38 seconds, the super sticker. Thank you so much, Timothy. I love hearing your wins. I try to drop by your live streams whenever I can and, just watch you doing your art. It's crazy. Timothy says, I love what you said in the past. Money loves to move. Yes, I said money likes to move fast. Money loves to move fast. I heard it from people who are extremely successful, like top tier entrepreneurs, gurus, like people that I personally have been looking up to for years. And they all say money likes to move fast, and that they were saying different tactics of not to, if you need something, like if you need to spend it, sorry, my hair is being weird again. If you need to spend it, like invest in yourself, and use that money to invest in yourself rather than having it just sit there, in some bank account and not doing anything, and you're not learning a new skill. It's better to invest in yourself to get that skill so that you can earn more. I did that. We did that so many times. The amount of money that we have spent on trainings, coaches, mentors, conventions, books, just time is a lot. It's a lot. But it's all worth it. Like, I would not, all that has led me here. And to this day, we still have mentors that we pay. I still purchase courses. In May, I bought it was a $2,000 course for investing. I bought that. And we have mentors still to this day that advise us and coach us. I always bring it back to Olympians. I love learning from Olympians because they are top. They're top number ones. They're gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, right? To even get to the Olympics is like so hard to get into. And so, do they have a coach? Would you ever see someone go to the Olympics without a coach? Would you ever see any sports team without a coach? Imagine a sports team or an athlete competing against another without a coach. It just does not happen. So I like to take life lesson from that. Last night was a record for me, $140 in super chats. Whoa, what was going on? Like, was there a live stream party? What do you think, when those kinds of things happen? Analyze it. What was it? Was it like something cool happened? Was it a party? Was it your birthday? Like, what was it? Try to analyze it. Teddy B says, my grandson is in a wheelchair wearing a t-shirt that says, I always win at musical chairs. That's awesome. That's good. That's a good t-shirt as well. I'm always saying random sayings, or I hear random sayings, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a t-shirt. Like, I should make that into a t-shirt, but I don't have time to make t-shirts right now. Although I do find it very fun. Timothy says it's a vibe. Wow, Timothy, how many people were on the live? Timothy said there was only 10 people. And that's a perfect example of 10 people only, right? And you got $140 in super chats. It just goes to show, what you like. If you're being like authentic, being true, and you're doing something for the audience, you're either teaching them, you're providing value, you're entertaining them, you're providing some sort of value to them, people will pay you for that. They will definitely pay you for that. Win for me, yesterday I did my first group coaching Zoom webinar. So I was doing this group coaching thing for people who are in the Amazon influencer program, and I sold it. I sold it as like a separate kind of bonus, more in-depth training. It was both for beginners and seasoned people who are doing the Amazon influencer program. And I went almost 3 hours just presenting, talking, sharing all of my ideas. In the beginning, it was talking about for the beginners, but at the end there, I was sharing like all my strategies and how I'm getting this to 5K a month US. And there were things on there that nobody else is talking about. Some things that there were that everybody else kind of knows about in the industry. But I know for sure that there are some things in there that because I specifically sat and I'm like, for myself, how am I going to get there, right? I'm here in Canada. What is it that I need to do to get to 5K? And I'm basically creating a roadmap for myself. And I'm at the stage where I still have products to review, but I will be going to the next tier now of really scaling this out. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on Prime Day, but I'm going to be starting to move this to the scaling now, to the methods that I talked about. And I pretty much talked for like almost 3 hours straight. My voice was, I was almost losing it, and because it gets all scratchy if you've ever talked with energy for 2.5 3 hours. You're teaching something, and everybody seemed to love it, and they were really engaged. And we had my goal was to sell 20 people at $80, and I was like, let's just see if people are interested in this. And we sold 12. So I was like, 13. We sold 13, two right at the end there, like a couple hours before the live stream. And I was very pleased. I was very pleased that 13 people, there were 16 people in total because some of Fernando's team was there. And it was amazing. It was like, I really like doing these masterminds because I can really go in depth and go full on. And people want to be there because they paid to be there. Little Garden on the Prairies, Tracy is saying, will the recorded version be available for purchase? Yes, it will. I was actually going to be, you beat me to it, Tracy. I was going to mention that there are 7 spots that we are going to still sell to make sure that we want to keep it to 20 people that, paid to see this, and then just hold that for a bit. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to do like another one of these. I was just kind of honestly just testing the water to see if people liked it. But yes, it is still available for purchase. The link in the Profitable Reviewer Facebook group still works. And Fernando just released the replay like an hour ago. He just messaged me. It took him a bit because it was like 2.5 hours. He had to cut some parts out. But it took him a while to render because it was like a Zoom recording, right? Yeah. If you end up getting it, Tracy, I would recommend going to the second half where I start talking about the scaling methods there, and just really hone in on that. And then, yeah, we can obviously chat about that. Derek says, I was there. You were great. Yes, you were there. You are such an action taker. And after, when you went through the training, Derek, and then, we were conversing afterwards, and the strategy that you were talking about in regards to movie releases was amazing. So if you guys don't know, Derek has an amazing YouTube channel with like 140,000 subscribers, and he does movie clip compilations of all different kinds of movies. And he sits and watches the movie, and he clips certain parts together, whether it be like the funny moments, or I think you do some fight scenes, or maybe action scenes, but he groups like all of the same kind of scenes from a movie or a show together to make these compilations. And you do TV shows, you do movies, and you have a huge DVD collection, like 1,700 DVDs and Blu-ray, right? And then he mentioned that he figured out, this is what I'm always trying to teach you guys, right? I might not teach you the exact thing that needs to be for you, but I'm wanting to mold your brain to think differently, and he did that. So because Derek a lot of his products have to do with movies, like his t-shirts, his toys that he collects, and the DVDs all have to do with movies. And what's going on with movies? I didn't even think of this because I'm not in the space of movies, but movies get released. Like they have premieres. For example, Indiana Jones is out, or yeah, is out now, I think. And so what is Derek going to do? He's going to start reviewing his all his previous Indiana Jones movies, and if he has any merch that's Indiana Jones or toys that's Indiana Jones. Because what happens when, you know, um, Indiana Jones is now out, what do people like to do? They like to reminisce, and they like to go, oh, let me go and buy the Indiana Jones 1, 2, and I don't know how many there are. Let me buy a t-shirt for Indiana Jones, let me get a toy, Indiana Jones, right? People do that kind of stuff. And so he recognized that, and that's now a perfect strategy for him. And I was like so proud that you thought of that. I was in the mall after the live stream because it was like 3 hours, and my head was totally blasted, and I was like, it felt like I did a marathon and I was running. So I just had to go completely, and I went to the mall and grabbed some food because I was like, I just need to be in a different environment. I've been staring and teaching, and I read his strategy, and I was like so excited while I was at the mall, just wandering around. So I'm really proud of you, Derek, and that's really awesome that you thought of that cool strategy. Timothy says you are a true guru with the influencer program. I'm, flattered that you say that, but I don't see myself as a guru yet. I personally need to. I'm doing it. I'm very good at teaching it. People always compliment me on my teaching ability and how I'm able to explain things so easily to them. But I don't feel like a guru because I personally have certain monetized goals for this, and I need to get this to 5K. Like it's always been in my sight, and I'm like, I want 5K. And if you notice, I'm not saying 10K, even though I've seen people do 10K. I need to first get to the very first one was 1K, which I've pretty much already done. But I need to get to the 5K, and that's going to take some more scaling methods. All right. So Derek says, yep, I made a video recently explaining how I make my videos, and my live streams are all on showing off my movie collection. Yeah, that's really cool. You started to get into live streaming. That's really amazing. And it's crazy that you make these kinds of videos. It's really cool. Phil is in the house. Hey, Phil, how's it going? 2 a.m. Phil. Yes, definitely. 2 a.m. Phil. It's always 6 p.m. over here right now, 6:25 p.m. But yeah, so that was my win. Did that live stream, first kind of group coaching mastermind, which thought was amazing. I had so much fun. And then also, this kind of leads into the show and tell here. I've been, with all this happening, and the Amazon influencer program and promoting the course and all this stuff, I've been helping my parents pack up their house. So they recently sold their house, and I'm helping them, there's a lot of stuff in that house. That is the house where I had my teenage years, and it's where I dreamt and I thought of becoming an entrepreneur. It's where I, first read the Secret book. Initially, I read it in the car after getting the book, and I went straight to my car and I started reading it. I couldn't finish it because it was starting to get dark in the car, and I was in a parkade in downtown Vancouver, and you don't want to be in the parkade in the downtown Vancouver. So I remember driving home and just laying, at the time I had a bunk bed, and I was just reading and finishing that book, the second half. And I remember finishing that book and going, I think I want to be an entrepreneur now, or I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. It was like the vision was so clear. So that happened in that home. So there's a lot of memories of, really going for the dream. All right. Phil says, I had a nice selection of power tools sent to me this week by a company that I want to work with. So that's my win for the week. Awesome. Yeah, I bet you have so many like tools, power tools, and sanding and glue and paint and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. So yeah, I was helping my parents. I'm starting to, you do it bit by bit. Not There's a lot, and I found some cool stuff. I found some cool memories, and I wanted to share some of them with you. And let me show this is so I took this because I want to keep it. Check this out. It's a corded telephone. This telephone, it was my parents, and my mom like had it in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is in Canada. It's in the middle part of Canada. And this is probably from the 70s or the 80s. And I grew up in the 90s talking on this telephone for hours and hours. There was one telephone conversation where I was speaking for 8 hours on this telephone. I love this telephone. It's a classic beige, corded and everything. It's so heavy and clunky, right? And you would hold it from here, right? And it was stationary pretty much, but if you wanted to, you could hold it and walk around with it. And then the cord here. By the way, telephones, I miss telephones that are ergonomically shaped like this, because I feel this is better for the ear than this flat thing. This flat thing that was created, like this just kind of just sort of sits like this kind of, I don't usually press this thing against my cheek, but this one you could. And the handle was good, because again, this is like awkward to hold, right? This one was always, and I was always like this, and I was like doing stuff or eating or something, and I'm like, hold on, let me add so and so on the line, and then you do that, and then you call them, and then you press it again, and then you have like 4 or 5 people on the call. Let's see here. Have you used a rotary phone? Yes, I have. My parents didn't have them, but I had like friends that had them, and I loved like the spinning the thing. At first, I didn't know how to use it when I first saw it. I didn't get it because I'm like, how do you get the number? That's why they switched over to this technology, right? Right. Let's see here. Even older than that, yeah, rotary took forever to dial. I know. I'm glad my parents upgraded to this. I remember when I used to play online games and the dial-up would disconnect because someone was trying to call the house. So frustrating. When we were on the internet, you couldn't use the phone. And I remember my mom would get so annoyed and so mad at me and my sister because computers were just coming into play, right? And so obviously you want to be playing for hours and hours. And we would always clog up the telephone line, and my mom would just yell at us to be like, get off the internet, I can't call my friends, or somebody's supposed to call me. And Timothy, lol, we are on the same wavelength. Felix, I have anxiety talking on the phone. Seeing who is calling you is worse than the old phones when it was always a surprise. I know, it was like, who is calling? And back then there wasn't really, from what I remember, there wasn't really any spam telemarketers back then. It was just like people who wanted donations, right? Yeah, so you'd always be like, hello? Oh, hey. Yeah. Okay, well, I gotta go now. So ever since I found this, I have it on my desk and I've just been picking it up and just randomly talking and just pretending. I love the, the sound that it makes, right? It's so like the sensory, right? Call waiting, cut me off, AOL. Yeah, I'm so glad that they upgraded internet so it didn't have to use the telephone. Derek says, haha, I remember all of that. Yeah, it's fun memories for sure. Here's also a couple of other things that I found that I wanted to share. So I found my old income reports. Derek says, I'm sure that phone could still work. Yeah, all you need is just this thing, whatever this is. Telephone line. Yeah, telephone line, and I think you're good to go. But I also, in my room, found some old income reports, partial income reports. I didn't manage to finish off the whole year, but I found this. So it says here, income to Essetino 2013 income. A couple more comments about the telephone. Here used to be able to dial *69 to see who called. Yes, yeah, I remember doing that. That phone brings back fun memories. I know, me too. I've just been carrying it around and just picking it up and playing with it. But check this out. My 2013 income. I only jotted down January, February, and March, and then I just dropped off and just completely stopped documenting it. Check it out. January 2013. We were doing $2,711.19. Whopping $2,000. And then in February, we did 2,331 and 40 cents. And then in March, we did 3,384 and 45 cents. And so it was just, I remember I was just cleaning boxes, right? There's things that need to be shredded, and there's just things that need to be recycled, and things that you're keeping, things that you're selling, right? And I'm just going through all the stuff, and I saw this, and I just like paused for a second, and I was just like, wow. It just humbled me for a second, and just makes you stop and think, and for me, just reflect on how far I've come and how things can change. And I mean, it's been a decade, but it's crazy because so much has happened and so much has changed, and I'm gonna keep this because it's a good memory for sure. Felix says, damn, I was in college in 2013 making $0. Oh, there was $0 a lot happening. What happened after March? Exactly. What happened? I feel like I probably got discouraged and didn't want to record it. I feel like that's something that happened. Otherwise, if I was making more, I don't see why I wouldn't be recording it. I was not busy. I was, busy doing busy work in 2013, but not actually busy. Derek says you should frame that to remind yourself of your beginnings. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep it for sure. There's other ones to frame. I have some other ones, but definitely putting it in like a photo album or something. Yeah, I don't know what happened after March. Timothy said, that is wonderful that you created that much just with your talents. At this time, what were we doing? I believe we were probably hired by the recording company. Me and Arit used to do social media for a recording company here in Vancouver that represented artists, musicians, and singers across Canada. And I'm pretty sure a big chunk of that came from them. I was probably also selling on Craigslist and eBay. I was probably flipping Starbucks gift cards, and doing odd jobs online. Fiverr was probably happening at that time. Yeah, it was also still a mix of stuff. Felix says that's actually pretty much for 10 years ago if we adjusted for inflation. Teddy V says, I need an affiliate link to your course so I can promote the course. Thanks. Yes, in the email, Teddy, that I sent you, there was a sign up to, because you have to do put your name and your email, and then you can get your affiliate link. But I will send it again through email, and hopefully you will receive it. Brayden, yes, flipping Starbucks cards. Okay, so you haven't heard that story. So this was back when Starbucks cards had value. And what do I mean by value? Is they were like trading cards. So not actual dollar value on the Starbucks card. Not like I bought a $20 Starbucks card and I sold it for $25, which you wouldn't be able to do. These were Starbucks gift cards that had a $0 balance on them, but they all had different pictures. So now they make the Starbucks card like made out of paper, but back then they used to make them like with plastic, and it's almost was like a credit card, and they had such unique designs that were for certain cities. If you had a card, let's say from Hawaii or from San Francisco or from China or something, that card would be worth more. And how I got into selling Starbucks gift cards was my I worked at Starbucks for about 9 months, but my sister worked at Starbucks for 8 years before, when she was in university, when she was studying to be a dental hygienist. So before she could be a dental hygienist, she worked at Starbucks on the weekends and like after school and stuff. So she collected an entire shoebox full of Starbucks gift cards, like all different kinds of pictures, because they would have Halloween ones or Christmas ones or whatever ones, like all different kinds of things. They were trading cards. And so one time she was cleaning up her room, and this is when I was selling on Craigslist. And she's like, hey, I'm cleaning up my room. I have all these duplicates of my Starbucks gift cards, because she would take a couple of them, because they didn't care at the time. Like you could just take a couple of them and then whatever, right? And then she brought them to me one night, and she's like, do you want to see, can you sell these on Craigslist? And I remember there was an entire shoebox full, like hundreds of cards. And I was like, I don't know. I'll try to sell them. And I remember listing some cards on Craigslist, and some people inquired, and they said, oh, I'll pay you, what was it, $10 or $15 for all 20 cards. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then my sister said the line, why don't you check on eBay? And I was like, oh, I didn't think of eBay. And then I go on eBay and I look up a card and I see the card is selling for $5. And then I look up another card and I see this card is selling for $10. This card can go for $20. And I start freaking out. And then that evening, I start taking pictures of all the cards. And back then, cell phones didn't take pictures on their cell phones, so I had to use my Canon digital power shot camera, when you turn it on, it's like, and then I would just take pictures and put the cards on the carpet. We had this beige carpet that my parents kept so clean. And I take a picture. I took hundreds of pictures, and then I transferred them over to my laptop. And then I started doing eBay listings of these Starbucks cards. And I did not know what was going to happen, but I started listing one card, and I remember this is back when I used to be a crazy night owl, and I didn't care what time it was. And so if I felt like doing something, I would just stay up till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning if I felt like it. And I didn't really care about the repercussions of not having enough sleep. Now I really care about sleep, and I want to sleep as early as possible now. But I started listing the first 5 listings. It took me a while to get started because I had not done eBay yet. And it took me a while to come up with the title and a description and loading up the pictures. And I remember listing them. And then in the morning, I got a bid from, I did auction, the bidding auction. And then I got a bid. And I remember going into my sister's room and waking her up and saying, oh my God, somebody just bid $5 on this. And I was freaking out because my mind went crazy. I'm like, I have hundreds of cards here. And then I told my sister, anytime a new Starbucks card comes in, please bring it to me. And then, because I told you that there are Starbucks cards in different cities, so I would ask, Arit's sister in Toronto, hey, can you send me some Toronto cards, like the ones that say Toronto on them? Hey, is there a Winnipeg one? Send me some cards that are from your city, right, if they're different. And I would get all these cards and people would bring them to me, and I started making money flipping cards. I think I probably have made maybe close to $5,000 on free, let me repeat that, free Starbucks gift cards with a $0 balance. Some cards, the bidding would go so high, it would be close to $50 for some cards. And some cards had a rarity, like how rare it was, or they only released it in this one city. I really had an advantage with the Vancouver cards because the Vancouver cards are only released in Vancouver. So I told my sister to get me a whole stack of these Vancouver cards. And like I said, at the time, they didn't care. They weren't protective over the cards. Now they don't want you taking a whole bunch of cards. It turned into something crazy on eBay. And then they started regulating the cards. I remember the time when they started regulating was when Starbucks, I don't know why they did this, but during one Christmas, they decided to release 100 gift cards at once. It was a Christmas thing, and they released 100 different, okay, maybe it was 50 or 100, regardless, it's a lot, all at once at the same time, and they were all Christmas themed. And Justine, she knew what to do, and she got all of them. She was able, because they released them. I don't know why they did this, but I got access to the entire card collection. And immediately eBay, and everybody just went crazy for these cards, and people were selling these cards for like $500 for the whole set, like 500 US for the whole complete set. Now, I could have sold it for the complete set, but I was like, no, I want to sell them individually. I feel like I will make more if I sell them individually. And I was right, because when I did sell them individually, I ended up doing like $1,500 or so. And I was getting some crazy messages from people that really wanted the cards. They're like, I'll pay you this, I'll pay you that. Please, I really want this card. This is the last one in my collection. And it got really crazy and exciting. And it was it was one of those things, and that was one of those moments where I was like, money is everywhere. Money is really everywhere. It's under your nose. It's sitting right in front of you. And these Starbucks gift cards were under my sister's bed for so many years. And I credit her, and she was like, she's the one who got me on eBay. Now, the money sounds cool and it's all exciting and all that, but what I didn't like was the amount of packages I had to send out. So imagine, one card is one package, right? And there's so much that goes into packaging. I think that's why I hate packaging. I think that's why I don't do eBay, and I don't really like doing Amazon FBA, because of the time it takes for the packaging and having to physically go to the post office. The post office people knew me. They saw me all the time. Every day I was going into the post office, always getting stamps, all that kind of stuff. And also what was stressful was, you're not going to get tracking for a $5, because I'm in Canada, tracking wasn't cheap. I know in the US it's much cheaper, but like I wasn't going to get tracking for a $5 card, right? Because it costs $1 to send or whatever. So sometimes, as it happens, packages go missing and all that, and you had to deal with the customer support, and it was fun while it lasted, but definitely not like a lifelong thing that I could do. I will admit, if somebody did hand me a box of Starbucks cards, that I would for the fun of it get back into it, but packaging was annoying. Packaging, having to write the addresses out. I didn't have access to a printer, so I had to manually write them out, and I would go and buy envelopes in bulk for cheap and try and get my costs down. And I just always had like a stack of envelopes and packages. And then Starbucks cards turned into me selling Coca-Cola bottles. That's a whole nother story. That I made probably even more with the Coca-Cola bottles. Yeah, that that one comment, Brayden, just sent me off on the Starbucks story. Awesome. Teddy B, I found the email in the junk. No need to resend. Awesome. I'm so sorry that it was in the junk. I'm glad I asked if you received it. Roland said, that sounds like a blast. That is something I'd enjoy. It was always fun to see the bids. So you could do buy it now, where you set your price and then someone could just buy it now. But I loved seeing the bidding wars, especially when it was counting down, like the last hour or so, because people would be watching the item and then going against each other, and you just refresh, and then you see it just go up $1, $5. Oh, I remember my sister got these rare Starbucks pins. I also sold pins. These rare Starbucks pins that they only gave to like certain locations. I can't even remember what the pin was of, but my sister gave them to me. I had a handful of them. And I was actually attending a conference in Florida. And Florida? Was it Florida? Yeah, Miami. Yeah, Florida. I was attending a conference in Florida, and I had these, I figured I could take these pins with me, and if I sold them while I was out in Florida, that I could probably mail them off for cheaper, because mailing in the US is a lot cheaper, and a lot of my buyers were from the US, so I figured I'd save on costs. So I remember listing these pins while I'm in Florida, when I'm not in the conference learning, and then some pins were going for like $50, $75, and I'm sitting like at the hotel room like freaking out, and like because I'm excited that a pin is going for $75 US, and then I sell it, and I have envelopes ready to go, and I'm like, Arit, we need to find a post office. Someone just bought this. I need to like make sure that it's on its way and stuff. I always wanted to provide like good service as an eBay seller, because you wanted your star rating, right? You want your rating to go up, because then you're more trustworthy. We've got Activate LA in the house. Hey, how's it going? Jojo saying, wow, that's awesome, Jewel. Yeah, I have lots of weirdo stories like this. Derek says, this goes to show how many countless ways there are to make money online. It's endless. It's totally endless. eBay can make us lots of money on the oddest things. Yeah, eBay's definitely the place for that kind of thing, because when I listed them on Craigslist, it was like they wanted $10 for 15 cards, whereas I could put those 15 different cards for $5 a piece and make way more. But it's more work. Instead of meeting with one person and getting the cash right away, you got to package everything. So, you have to weigh out the pros and the cons. Activate LA. Jewel, you vibing today. Thank you so much. Well, that story, it was a fun, exciting time during that. And it's still fun, exciting. I feel like the fun and exciting has never gone away. It's got even crazier. Jojo says 5,000 is way more than 20. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Like, it's crazy that I did that, and there was no dollar amount on the cards. Same with the Coca-Cola bottles. There's no Coke in them. Coca-Cola, I mean, like, you know what I mean? They were empty, because I refused to send a full pop, because one time I sent something to like somewhere in Europe, and it exploded, and the person received their package all wet, and the Coca-Cola was leaking out of their package, and I had to refund them, and it was just a nightmare. So that's why it was always empty. Activate LA, smash the like button, chat fam. Thank you. Roland says, a lot of times people have the incorrect address on eBay. They haven't updated it since creating their eBay account. That was frustrating. Oh man, that sucks. Phil says, I used to sell Starbucks mugs on eBay. Some are rare and collectible. Yes. I remember my sister asking if I wanted to get into the mugs, but then I was like, I was always worried about them breaking. And obviously, you could package them appropriately, but yeah, I didn't want to mess with mugs. I thought, Starbucks cards, empty cans and bottles were a lot lighter and cheaper to send. Tracy says, is a Saskatchewan Starbucks mug worth anything? It might be, because I joined a lot of Facebook groups that were Starbucks groups. So there were so many of these groups that were buying and selling, and people had crazy mug collections. And so someone who's a mug collector, they might not be able to get to Saskatchewan, and you never know. Try it out. Derek says there's a market for basically anything. There really, really is. I remember with the Coca-Cola, I was at the mall in downtown, and It was during the FIFA Women's World Cup, and it was here in Vancouver. It was held in Vancouver. And I was eating at a Greek fast food place, and I got a Coke, and it was the bottle, like the can said it was for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Vancouver. And I remember drinking it, and I was like looking at it, and I was drinking it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can sell this. And so I remember finishing it and then heading back to the office, took some photos of it, cleaned it up. I always cleaned out the cans, I made sure that it was like not sticky or anything. And then I remember taking a picture and listing it, and I sold it for $20 US that same day. Like it came with my meal, my Greek meal, chicken souvlaki, and then it blew me away. I was like, "Oh my god, there's money everywhere. It's crazy." Obviously, you have to put work. I had to package it up in a box because it's a can, and then I had to always walk over to the post office and deliver it. Exploding Coca-Cola, yuck. Yeah, I remember they sent me a photo of their package, and it was like they were holding it, and it was just dripping because it was 2 king size cans of Pepsi, and it was totally leaking. I felt so bad for them. Let's see. Peter Dell, eBay and other internet shopping is the gateway to home invasion and theft. Whoa, I didn't know that. That's pretty crazy. I didn't know that. You know what you should do? You should probably not put your exact home address then. You should probably put a different address, like a box address, or not be so exact with it. Braden says Saskatchewan mugs recently sold between $40 and $60 on eBay. There you go, Tracy. There you go. Peter says items are worth what people are prepared to pay for the item and how much is available. Yeah, there's a show on Netflix where I forgot what his name is, but he mainly deals with sports collectibles and, rare valuables. And it's a Netflix show of showing, this cards, basketball cards, uh, hockey jerseys, like all that kind of stuff. And what people are willing to pay for it, and it was like millions of dollars. There was one episode where there was this kid from Montreal, Canada, and he opened a pack of racing cards. So racers, I guess they have their own trading cards, collecting cards, and he pulled out this one rare card out of one pack that he decided to buy. He wasn't even a collector, and this one card was worth $700,000. And they showed on the show that there was this buyer for it, and he wanted that card, and he made him a private offer. And I remember looking it up, and people were like speculating that the private offer was likely over $1 million for this one card. And it just like blew me away. It's crazy. Collectibles are still around, and they're still going. Derek says people steal other packages from their doors and are commonly referred to as porch pirates. Yeah, those people are annoying, and I don't know why. Like, why would you even do that? Right? Why would you ruin someone's day like that? And do you think that that's going to be good for you in the long run in terms of what energy you just created? You just stole someone's stuff, right? Crazy. But yeah, that was a lot of merch talk, like e-commerce selling talk. I have, crazy stories of all the stuff. I used to try and figure out not the trends, but those kinds of niches where there was a Starbucks whole weird Starbucks community, right? A Starbucks card community. There were different communities within Starbucks. So it was the Starbucks cards, and then there was the Starbucks mugs, and then there was the Starbucks barista teddy bears, and then I think those were the main ones. And then most people, some of them would be into the entire thing. They would collect the cards, they would collect the bears, they would collect the mugs. But then I found that there were communities within each one of them. And then same with the Coca-Cola. There was people that only wanted like old Coca-Cola vintage stuff. And then there's people that only wanted sports Coca-Cola, or they wanted just Coca-Cola in general, or they only wanted cans, or they only wanted bottles. So it's like, it was really crazy. And then there was Pepsi as well. So it's like there's money everywhere, really. Tracy, no worries. Have a great night and weekend, everyone. Excited about Prime Days. Yeah, good call, Tracy. I think this is a good place to end it here. I think we'll end it there. That was an awesome chat with everyone. I'll see you guys again next week, next Thursday at 6 p.m. PST.